Good day, everyone. So, before we're going to delve into our topic for today, I'd like you to picture this out. Okay? You are managing the construction of a new shopping mall here in Davao City. Let's say, for example, there is another mall for Abriza located in the southern part of Davao. Okay? So you've got your architects, your engineers, your contractors, as well as your suppliers, all with different expertise, different timelines, and different priorities. So now, how do you get everyone moving in the same direction? Do you just bark orders and hope for compliance? Or do you inspire them toward a shared vision of creating Davos' premier shopping destination in the South? Well, this is the daily reality that every project manager faces. The delicate balance between managing tasks and leading people. So today, we are diving into management and leadership. Okay? So management is doing things right, while leadership is doing the right things. But here is the thing. In project management, you cannot just pick one. Okay? It's not possible. You need both of this. You need management and you need leadership. Now, I want you to think about a successful projects that we have here in Davao City, like the Davao Convention Center or the ongoing coastal road. Okay. Now, behind each one is someone who had to manage the budgets, the schedules, and resources while also leading diverse teams, motivating stakeholders, and also navigating the inevitable challenges that come up. So, we are going to explore how great project managers, okay, master this dual role, the management as well as the leadership. And when is it that you are called to manage or you are called to lead? And how are you going to do both effectively? Okay? Because at the end of our discussion, okay, projects do succeed or fail based on people, not just processes. So you will learn that. Okay? So, what exactly are we going to accomplish in our time today or in our discussion today? So let me walk you through our three main learning objectives. And I will be using the Davao Bus Rapid Transit project as our running example since it is something we can all relate to here in Davao City. Okay, so the objective one is first, we are going to clearly distinguish between leadership and management roles in projects. Now think about the Davao BRT project, okay? As a manager on this project, you are actually tracking the multi-billion peso budget, ensuring environmental clearances are secured, coordinating with DPWH contractors, and making sure that bus stations are built according to specifications. Now, as a leader, you are communicating the vision of reducing traffic congestion to skeptical commuters, inspiring your engineering team when they hit unexpected underground utilities, and keeping stakeholders motivated despite inevitable delays. Well, same person, but completely different skill sets. Okay? Our second objective is that we are going to explore how much impact that you as an and how much impact you as an individual manager actually have on your team's performance. So imagine two different project managers handling different phases of the BRT project. Now, one micromanages every survey and inspection, and the other empowers their civil engineers to solve problems and make decisions. So, which BRT phase do you think will run smoother and develop and deliver better results? And the third objective for our lecture is we will tackle how management thinking keeps evolving. Okay? So the BRT project itself is influenced by various management approaches. So lean construction methods, agile project management, stakeholder engagement models. So we will discuss how to separate genuinely using approaches from management fans so you are not implementing every new methodology that promises to revolutionize your project delivery. So now let us get into the meat of our discussion. So the core difference between leadership as well as your management. Now look at this, look at your screen right now, okay? Look at it carefully because the distinction will make or break your effectiveness on projects, okay? So let's go first with the leadership focus, okay? We have leadership focus. So I'd like you to notice how everything here in leadership focus is about the people, okay? So let's walk through each point shown in your slide using our BRT project, okay? So the first one is we create a vision. So these actually means painting the picture of, we will stick with our project, okay? Painting the picture of how the BRT will transform Davos transportation system, reduce pollution, and improve quality of life for commuters. And then we have motivating team members. So when your engineers are frustrated because they have hit their third unexpected water pipe this week, you are the one who reminds your engineers why this project matters to our city. So, helping people understand why changes are important when residents complain about construction disrupting their daily routines, you explain how temporary inconvenience leads to long-term benefits. And the next one is building relationships and trust. So, you are actually cultivating partnerships with barangay officials, bus operators, and community leaders. And the next is dealing with conflicts and resistance. So it's like addressing concerns from jeepney drivers who worry about losing their livelihood. Yeah, actually that's reality. Okay, we have jeepney drivers who are worrying of losing their livelihood. So making big picture decisions like determining the optimal route alignment that balances the cost, impact, and effectiveness. Okay? So let's go to the other one, which is about the management focus. Now, for the management focus, we have here the planning and scheduling tasks. So it is like creating detailed Gantt charts for station construction, for road works, and utility relocations. And the other one is allocating your resources. So it is ensuring you have the right number of surveyors, the proper equipment, and sufficient budget for each phase. The next is setting up processes. So it is establishing quality control procedures for concrete work and safety protocols for construction zones. And the other one is monitoring progress. So it is the tracking whether station foundations are meeting deadlines and staying within the budget. So we are solving practical problems and figuring out how to reroute traffic during peak construction periods. And we are making sure that deadlines and budgets are followed. So it is ensuring that the project does not become another delayed infrastructure initiative. So the bottom line here is that it is that leadership focuses on people and doing the things right. While when we say management, it focuses on the processes and doing things. I'm sorry. Again, when we say leadership focus, it focuses on people and doing the right things. While the management is that it focuses on the processes and doing things right. Okay? So they're different. Now, in our example, the BRT project, you actually need both. Because without leadership, you will have demoralized teams and hostile communities. But without management, you will have an over budget behind schedule mess. So here is something that might surprise you. Research shows that you, as an individual project manager, have more impact on on your team's performance than you might think. So it is not just about having the right processes or the best technology. So your personal approach can make or break the entire BRT project. So when we break this down, let us look first at these 5 key areas shown in your screen right now where your individual style do matters. So let's go first with the communication and the motivation. So I'd like you to picture 2 scenarios on the BRT project. So you have manager A that sends the brief, technical emails and about delays and problems, while your manager B takes time to explain setbacks, acknowledges the team's hard work, and connects daily tasks to bigger vision of improving Davos transportation. So, which team do you think stays energized during those long months of construction? Okay, which team do you think? Now let's go to the creating positive team culture. So this is about the atmosphere you create. So are your BRTT meetings tense interrogations where people fear admitting problems? Or are they collaborative sessions where engineers feel safe discussing challenges and proposing solutions? Now let's go to time management and task prioritization. So when the environmental impact assessment gets delayed, do you panic and start reassigning everyone frantically? Or do you calmly reassess priorities, communicate change clearly, and help the team focus on what they can control? And then the next one is we have the problem solving approach. So when residents block construction at a BRT station site, do you immediately escalate to authorities or do you engage the community, understand their concerns, and work toward win-win solutions? And the other one is the handling stress and pressure. So construction projects are inherently stressful. Okay? When the mayor's office calls asking why the timeline shifted again, does your stress trickle down and create anxiety throughout your team? Or do you absorb that pressure and maintain steady leadership? Now, the bottom line here is that all these factors directly influence team morale, productivity, and the overall project success. Well, a skilled manager can actually bring out the best in our example, the BRT construction teams. Well, a poor manager can turn even the most qualified engineers and contractors into an underperforming group. The sobering reality, your team's performance is more about you than you might be comfortable admitting. So now, let us talk about something that affects every manager today. So the fact that management thinking doesn't stay static. So what worked for building the original Davao bridges decades ago might not be the best approach for managing our BRT project today. Okay? So, as you can see on your screen right now, It mentions this shift from scientific management to more humanistic approach. Now you think about it this way. Early management theory treated workers like machines. You told them exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Okay? In our reference, Frederick Taylor's approach was all about efficiency and control. But I'd like you to imagine trying to run the BRT project that way today. You tell your environmental engineers exactly how many soil samples to take per hour. You micromanage every community consultation. You treat your team like they can't think for themselves. So how do you think that would work out in today's environment? So what does this evolution mean for you, for us, project manager? Well, let's go through each point. The first one is we have being aware of new management ideas. So this doesn't mean chasing every trend, but staying informed. Maybe there is a new stakeholder engagement method that could help with BRT community relations. And the next is critically evaluating new approaches. So when someone suggests implementing agile project management for the BRT construction phases, you need to ask, will these actually improve our concrete touring schedules? Or is it just buzzword bingo? Buzzword bingo. Then the next is adapting your management style. So the way you managed a road project 5 years ago might not work for today's BRT project with its complex environmental, social, and technical requirements. So another thing is you have to consider the human side. This is very crucial because your BRT team includes experienced engineers who want input into technical decisions, not just orders to follow. And they want to understand how their work fits into Davos transportation future. And then next we have the continuously developing skills. So the project management field keeps evolving, okay? We have new tools, new methodologies, new ways of thinking about stakeholder engagement. But here is the key. Do not get do not caught do not get caught up in management fads. Because in our example, the BRT project actually needs solid fundamentals. It needs clear communication, realistic scheduling, and proper resource allocation. And the human-centered approach is not about being touchy-feely, okay? It's not about that. It is about recognizing the motivated, engaged team members deliver it is about recognizing the motivated, because if you have engaged team members, they actually deliver better results than the motivated ones. So here we are at the end of our discussion through management and leadership in projects. So let me leave you with this thought. Whether you are managing the next phase of the Davao BRT, or you are leading a community development initiative, or running any project in between, I want you to remember that success is not just about having the right Gantt charts or the perfect budget spreadsheet. Because the most successful project managers understand that they are wearing two hats every single day. Sometimes you need to be the manager who tracks deadlines, allocates resources, and solves logistical problems. But other times you need to be the leader, wherein you inspire your team when things get tough, communicate the vision to skeptical stakeholders, and making those big picture decisions that determine whether your project truly serves the community. Now, your individual approach matters more than you might think. The way you handle the stress during those inevitable construction delays, how you communicate with frustrated commuters, whether you see your team as resources to control or people to inspire. All of this shapes not just your project success, but also your team's experience and growth. Now, remember, management thinking will keep evolving, okay? That is the truth. So you have to stay curious, stay critical, but do not chase every new trend. Okay? So you have to focus on the fundamentals, clear communication, genuine care for your people, and never losing sight of why your project matters. Okay? So the future of project management in our city is actually in your hands. So you have to use this insights well, and thank you for your attention for today's discussion. See you on our next class.